I'll leave this one on you. If you want to stay on, we'll stay on.
Thanks, time, check up.
Alright everyone, welcome back to the Mission for Nutrition Survive 75 here at Talladega. Unfortunately, I had some computer problems. I have no clue what happened, but we are back now. Looks like the stream is running smoothly. We're currently under caution right now after lap 21 of 75 here at Talladega. So you can see a couple drivers coming down pit lane right now, and now you're looking at the 8 of Kevin Foster. Apologize, I'm just still trying to get some stuff all set back up. I really do not know what happened there. Alright, if we look at our standings, Terry Condis going to be your leader right now.
Yeah, I'm coming low.
Yet again, really sorry for that delay. Not sure what happened there. I'm also not exactly quite sure why my fonts aren't correct on the screen right now, but that's something that we will get figured out. We're at least going to watch this race here at Talladega. Didn't miss too much of it. Still on lap 22 of 75, so still plenty of good racing to go here at Talladega as we look at our current leader, the 32 of Terry Condis. Right there you see the 32 he thought about going. Not sure what that was. But as we look again, let's go ahead and bring this up while we're waiting. Here yet again, Talladega Motor Speedway, 2.6 miles, 4 turns. Fixed setup, 1 fast repair, 75 laps. Of course, partly cloudy out here, almost no humidity. So we are under caution here right now.
Leaders on old tires, a little sketchy at everyone.
See, since I am not positive whether or not you were able to hear it, let me talk about Mission for Nutrition real quick, our sponsor today. Mission for Nutrition is a non-profit organization in southeast Pennsylvania which serves to provide nutritious foods and promote healthy living practices while also fostering unity in primarily minority communities by actively engaging community members in events that emphasize physical activity, and you can find them on Instagram and Twitter at M4N Nonprofit, Facebook at Mission for Nutrition, or on their website at m4nnonprofit.wixsite.com, and all of those, the number 4 instead of 4 spelled out. So there you're looking at Terry Condis, your leader. You got Brandon Trogdon, Wesley Fuller, Alan Castle, Ricky Hart Jr., Trey Ellis, Kevin Foster, Nick Nickerson, Matt Crockett, Garrett Hall, Brandon Jackson, Robert Mathis, and Bill Harkins. All right, lights are off on the pace car. Pace car down low. We're going green again. Terry Condis leading us to green here. The 69 of Brandon Trogdon filing in behind him. Fairly spread out start here. We're fairly single file now. Lap 24 of 75 here at Talladega. On board with Terry Condis right now. See some of these guys back behind him spreading out. 3 wide right now. See the second row is 3 wide. Alan Castle in the 93 making a move on the inside line. The 69 of Brandon Trogdon trying to follow him. 35 of Wesley Fuller. He's up there on the outside trying to make something work up there. So we're 3 wide here for the lead. You see the 8 of Kevin Foster being pushed by Nick Nickerson. Back there just a little bit further. And there you see Ricky Hart Jr. in the number 64 car. He's right behind the 35 of Wesley Fuller. He's your current points leader right now, and he's looking to make something happen up there. So as we go, Alan Castle in the 93, your current leader. Terry Condis falling back a little bit. But the 13 car is looking to give him a push.
Yeah, after all the technical difficulties, we finally all made it back. So, sorry about that, guys.
Yes, very sorry about what happened, but we didn't miss too much good racing here on lap 25 of 75. Still plenty of racing to go.
Yeah, in case you missed anything, we had a caution there for the 2 of Nick Nickerson going around as they were making pit stops. So that's kind of why we were under yellow there.
Bye, Garrett.
Now the 35 of Wesley Fuller, going to be your new leader. Alan Castle in the 93 right behind him. And up top we got Ricky Hart Jr. poking his nose up near the front now. Terry Condis now up to the lead, being pushed by Garrett Hall. Hall drops down to the inside, looking to take the lead away. We'll see if he's able to do it. He's able to do it for now, at least. But Nickerson right behind Hall, looking to give him a big push here down the back stretch going into turn 3.
So we're 3 by 2 for the lead. So we got the 13 of Garrett Hall on the bottom, 32 of Terry Condis in the middle, and the 64 of Ricky Hart Jr. up there up on top. Their pushers on the outside, we got 99 of Brandon Jackson, the 2 of Nick Nickerson there in the middle, and the 35 of Wesley Fuller on the bottom. As they fan out, now they're 2 by 2 there for the lead. It's like the top lane is gathering up a little bit, trying to make their run here, coming out of 2.
It's Ricky Hart Jr., Brandon Jackson, and Bill Harkins up there in that very top lane.
See Ricky Hart Jr. and Brandon Jackson making some hay up there in the 3rd lane. About to shoot on by potentially. We're 3 wide for the lead, at least momentarily. Kind of filing out right now. Garrett Hall still maintaining your top position.
Let's get everybody up here.
35 Wesley Fuller there running in 2nd, right next to the 32 of Terry Condis. Nick Nickerson going up top with the run, along with Ricky Hart Jr. and Brandon Jackson.
So the 32 of Terry Condis stuck in the middle.
Whenever you get stuck in the middle there, it's very hard to stay off of the other cars. There's so much turbulence coming off the other cars that it makes it very difficult. See, actually drives back up to the right behind the leader of 35, Wesley Fuller. Terry Condis making some strong moves here, middle of the race. He actually cuts down low, takes the lead.
Luckily able to get down, and a big move from the number 2 of Nick Nickerson to jump all the way to the bottom, now pushing Condis. Ricky Hart Jr. and Bill Harkins still working up on that top line up there.
It's like 35 of Wesley Fuller got into the wall a little bit there, got a little bit out of shape, had to back out of it a tiny bit. Luckily nobody was close to him when he did that, able to gather it back up.
Nickerson now up to the lead, being pushed by Garrett Hall.
I think what we're seeing here is if the cars do get side by side, nobody can maintain the lead for longer than possibly a straightaway for the most part. That's at least if they have 2 lines going. Right now they are not organized.
You've got Brandon Jackson pushing Terry Condis up there on the high side. Ricky Hart Jr. right behind him.
We just saw the 13 of Garrett Hall get in the back and Nick Nickerson get a little bit squirrely. Had to back out of it. All this is allowing Brandon Jackson to push Terry Condis up a little bit farther out in front. They gather a lot of momentum out of 4. Shoot on out there to the lead.
Got enough room. Clearly out in front now with a big push from the 99 car.
We're going to see on the last lap is we're going to see everybody pushing and shoving and just trying to get their runs, especially in the last half of the lap. On the last lap, we're going to see some crazy moves be made. At least that's what we're hoping.
Now Brandon Jackson, your new leader, being pushed by Garrett Hall. Nickerson up to the outside.
Brandon Jackson trying to maintain both lines. Clear strategy for the leader to try and break the draft of anybody who's behind him. But it's allowed Nick Nickerson to get by with a push from Terry Condis.
Big push there from the 32 car. Side by side now as they go down the back stretch. You can see the 35 of Wesley Fuller looking up to the 3rd lane. being pushed by Bill Harkins, trying to make something happen up there.
I think one thing to keep an eye on is some of these guys are playing a different strategy. Some of these guys are hanging back. Cars like the 8 of Kevin Foster, the 10 of Matt Crockett, the 29 of Robert Mathis, they're just kind of laying in the weeds until maybe 10 laps to go. That's when they're going to make their run. So we'll have to see here. When we hit about lap, say, 65 to 70, we'll see these guys running up here battling for the front.
Now the 99 of Brandon Jackson looking down low. Inside of Terry Condis, now inside of Nick Nickerson, trying to take the lead now.
He's got the 11 of Bill Harkins making his way up the middle on these guys. Gets to the back of 32 Terry Condis. On the outside of 13 of Garrett Hall. Up there in the 5th spot. Remember, this is his last race of the season. He's trying to make every bit of it count.
Definitely isn't a good run from him, sitting in 4th position right now. Right in front of the 64 of Ricky Hart Jr., current points leader.
Yeah, certainly. We see races like this at super speedways become a great equalizer. Allows drivers that don't normally run up at the front on short tracks or even intermediates, gives them their place to shine. Generally, allows the cars to be very even.
Nickerson out in the lead, and Terry Condis right behind him, being pushed by the 13 of Garrett Hall on the bottom row. But now you see the number 99 car of Brandon Jackson. The first car up on the top being pushed by Bill Harkins.
Call it out if you
Watch there, looks like Bill Harkins. Sorry about that. We had a car coming to pit road, the 35 of Wesley Fuller. Kind of distracted me a little bit there. He's making his pit stop. It's the first one down pit road. Not sure if this is his pit strategy or not, or if he's having an issue, but he is down pit road right now.
We'll have to see what some of these other cars do in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, we didn't get a great idea of the fuel window last time. Kind of had a few technical difficulties. Didn't exactly allow us to see how many laps that some of these guys have run, but I would say that some of them can run about 18 to 19 laps on fuel. As you see, some of them die down on pit road, make their first or their second pit stop of the night.
So that's going to be 32 of Terry Condis and the 69 of Brandon Trogdon hopping on pit road right now.
Yeah, we'll have to see where these guys all cycle out. It's gonna be based on if they can get linked up here early, either before or after the pit stop, or whether they can get that momentum channeled later.
Four pitting.
We got the 4 car pitting this time, as well as the 93 I'm hearing. We'll see those cars come ducking down on the pit road here this time by. It'll be easy getting on the pit road. This is one of the more challenging pit road entrances to get down to the proper pit road speed.
You see Bill Harkins look to the inside of the 2 of Nick Nickerson, but going to keep on pushing him. 99 of Brandon Jackson right behind them.
Yeah, the 11 of Bill Harkins is definitely laying it all out there on the line tonight. He's doing everything he can to get out front. And why not? I mean, this is this is his only shot for the rest of the season.
He might as well do everything he can tonight.
Hope to see if some of these other cars come down pit road. Doesn't look like many of them will. I don't think any of them will actually in this front pack. Let's see if they come by next time, as we saw a few cars already pit.
See your leader right now, Brandon Jackson, Ricciard Jr. directly behind him, followed by the 8 of Kevin Foster.
It's lap car 35 of Wesley Fuller. Ducks out of the way of the leaders. Tries to tuck in behind them and gain some speed here temporarily. Hearing that the 10 car,
I'm the non-fitter.
10, the 11, the 99 are all coming down pit road this time, so it looks like most of the leaders. So we'll see how they ease their way on the pit road. It's like no issues there on the entry to pit road. Nobody having too many lockups.
Garrett Hall now your only driver who has not pitted. Oh, Garrett Hall and Robert Mathis.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this works out. Some of these guys staying out. Hopefully they can
13 this time
maintain the draft that they have and ultimately link up with the leaders later on in this pit sequence.
Get a hold for 40.
That's the key here, is kind of timing out where you're coming out on pit road. Hopefully you're coming out at the same time as many other cars and you're able to get into the draft very quickly. So we'll have to see cars like that do have a good pit stop.
See the 13 and the 29 hopping onto pit road right now. H&M Motorsports.
Looks like the rest of the cars are on the back straightaway right now. We'll have to see where they kind of all converge. So as we speak, we got some of the leaders. They're on pit road. These guys are coming around 3 and 4, and ultimately we might potentially see them meet coming out of turn 2.
Terry Condis is sitting in 3rd place right now. You're looking at him. Condis and Trey Ellis sitting in 3rd and 4th. They will be your leaders once they get around to the front.
Yeah, as I'm watching, it looks like the 8 and the 11 of Bill Harkins have broken out ahead of some of the pack, and as well as Terry Condis and Trey Ellis have broken out. See if they can hold up enough momentum to get the 2 front cars here of Robert Mathis and Garrett Hall. They're coming up on them pretty quickly. Definitely some good pit stops by the 32 and the 4.
You can see
them to get out front.
You see the 32 and the 4 hooked up, drafting very well right now, whereas the 29 and the 13 they just now got together real good.
Yeah, they just linked up right here, so I think it'll allow the 32 and the 4 to get right up to their back bumper and potentially sweep around them, as we're seeing here out of 2. Bottom 2 cars are going to try and stifle that run that they've got. So we have these 4 cars out front. Got the 29 of Robert Mathis, 13 of Garrett Hall, 32 of Terry Condis, and the 4 of Trey Ellis currently in the front pack. In our second pack, we got the 8 of Kevin Foster, the 11 of Bill Harkins, as well as the 10 of Matt Crockett. It's like Matt Crockett fell off the back of that trail, but he's going to be quickly gathered up by the 2 of Nick Nickerson, as well as the 35 of Wesley Fuller and Brandon Trogdon in tow.
Come on, y'all, let's line up and run away from the field.
So the front 4 cars are trying to all get lined up, but they're not quite doing so right now. This might allow some of these cars behind to potentially get up to them later on. Also got the 11 and the 8 running side by side right now. They're trying to tandem their way up to the front pack. Looks like the pack with the most steam is the number 2 of Nick Nickerson, as well as the 35 of Wesley Fuller. Looks like they're carrying the most momentum from what I've been seeing. But I think the front cars are getting more organized right now. But looks like the second pack is going to become one bigger pack here pretty soon, as 2 of Nick Nickerson and Wesley Fuller drive up to them. It's from about 45 of 75 here in our event here at Talladega.
You see Nickerson now looking to the outside of the 8 car of Kevin Foster and Bill Harkins. It's Nickerson and Fuller there on the outside.
Yeah, if these guys can get organized here in the second pack, they can close that gap up to the front pack and make this a real competitive race. But what the front pack is trying to do is maintain that organization and try and pull away. As we watch the 29 of Robert Mathis, I believe. Yep, Robert Mathis lead the front pack.
You can also see the 64 car of Ricky Hart Jr. there in that pack, but he's going to be 1 lap down, sitting in 13th position. I believe that's the first time that I've said that all season.
Yeah, tough luck for him here on this pit sequence. He potentially had a penalty here during this run, or potentially just missed out on the draft and had a bad pit stop. We'll probably hear about it here after the race. This is not a very normal thing to happen to Ricky Hart Jr. He's getting a push currently from 32 of Terry Condis. Terry Condis is using him as a pick. Even though he's not on the same lap as everybody else. Ultimately, he might push him here to the front of this pack. Although you see the 64 out front, he is now on the tail end of the lead lap. Right here in front of the leaders.
Did just get his lap back, though. At least he's not 1 lap down anymore.
Yep, that's one way to do it. I think ultimately he's hoping for potentially a lucky dog or a wave around, but if he can maintain ahead of these cars, then he can potentially not have to go through any of those. He can put tires on and potentially gain a few spots on pit road on the next pit cycle if we were to have a yellow.
Following on board now with the 3rd place car of Trey Ellis.
As I've been watching here, it looks like the pack led by Bill Harkins, the second pack, has gotten organized. It looks like they're making quite a bit of hay. They closed the gap a little bit. They're now only 4.3 seconds behind this front pack. So we'll have to look next time by and see how much they really are closing. They're 4.34 the last time by. See how much they close in this time by, if they are closing. Like they actually lost a tiny bit of time that time by. They're now not as organized as they once were.
You can see Kevin Foster now to the inside of that.
Yeah, if they want to get up to that front back, they're going to have to stay organized here.
Go, Brandon, come down again.
I think they're going to eventually duck down behind the rest of these cars.
If you want to come down, you can.
Yep, got a train of 6 cars going here, so we'll see what kind of time they can make up on the leaders.
Now they may be able to catch him if they can stay single file in a pack like this. Because this front pack is side by side.
I think the 8 of Kevin Foster and the 2 of Nick Nickerson are going to make a very good team here in the second pack, and it's ultimately going to pay off, and they're going to gain a little bit of time here. Looks like they're down to 3.7 seconds, closing in quite quickly, faster than they were before.
You can see the 99 car of Brandon Jackson. He's up leading this front pack, but he's about to go one lap down if one of these guys passes him. So definitely unfortunate for him, and strange to see him at the back as well, just like Ricky Hart Jr.
Yeah, definitely difficult circumstances for him, as well as the 64 of Ricky Hart Jr. here. They caught themselves a lap down here late in the race, and they're going to need a caution to be able to make it up.
Number 8 car of Kevin Foster, the leader of that second pack, now 3 seconds back. There you can see the difference on the back straightaway between these two packs.
We've been closed up about half a second since the last time by, so gaining somewhere around 5 to 7/10 of a second a lap, somewhere around there currently. So if that keeps going, we should see them up there in about 5 or so laps if they maintain this pace, maybe sooner, possibly, if the front-running cars get a little bit out of organization. As our 2 lap cars have taken over the front of that lead pack, trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap. The 99 of Brandon Jackson and 64 Ricky Hart Jr. We're followed by our leader, the 29 of Robert Mathis, 32. Actually, the 13 of Garrett Hall running second. 4 of Trey Ellis in third. 32 of Terry Condis in fourth. Got another car lap down. That is the 93 of Alan Castle, rounding out the tail end of that line. As we can see that the second pack is closing in on our leaders. Got the 8 of Kevin Foster and the 2 of Nick Nickerson leading that pack. I believe I just got over the radio that Brandon Jackson may potentially be making a pit stop here.
This
might get a little bit interesting. He is on the middle right now, trying to get down as low as possible. Got the 32 of Terry Condis coming down pit road, one of our front pack. Coming down for potentially, I'd say he's just outside of the fuel window here. If he's able to save some fuel, he might be able to do it. I'm not sure if he can make it from here.
On the screen, you can see Wesley Fuller, Brandon Trogdon, and Terry Condis all pitted.
Yep, that leaves the 29 of Robert Mathis out front.
Now you can see
Trey Ellis, number 4.
As you can see, those packs have caught each other now. Nickerson back behind the 8 of Foster.
Not sure if Terry Condis had as much fuel as the rest of these guys. Kind of ultimately caused him to pit a little bit early. I don't think that was necessarily what he wanted, but something that he probably had to. It's kind of left him out here to dry. He's got 2 cars behind him, 35 Wesley Fuller, 69 of Brandon Trogdon, to be able to link up with him. But we'll have to see here where they all shake out. Looks like we'll have a few cars coming down pit road this time. Keep an eye out for that. The 4 car is one of them. Trey Ellis. So far, we've maintained most of our front pack. None of them have quite pitted yet. We'll see them here come down, possibly in the next 2 or 3 laps. Put them into a window to go all the way to the end of this race on fuel.
You can see Nickerson, he was leading, or second in that second pack a little while ago, now all the way up to the lead.
Yep, him and Kevin Foster, as well as the 11 of Bill Harkins, have translated that momentum into a battle for the lead here, this front pack. I believe it's really the only pack right now. Actually, there is a second pack, but it's the pack that had already pitted, that group of 32, Kerry Condis, Wesley Fuller, and Brandon Trogdon. So we'll have to pay attention to where that group lies after this pit sequence. I believe this time by the 99 car, Brandon Jackson's going to come down, make his final pit stop. Looks like most of your leaders come down pit road. A couple of them stay out. We'll have to pay attention to that.
Well, Jackson sideways.
Looks like Brandon Jackson locked up the rear wheels there, getting on the pit road. It's ultimately going to cost him here, is he's not going to be able to get his lap back easily. He's going to need a caution here if he wants to get back up there.
Yeah, it'll be definitely difficult for him, as he already was not in a good situation being a lap down.
As we see these cars make their final pit stop, we'll have to keep an eye on this pack here of 35 Wesley Fuller, 69 Brandon Trogdon, 4 Trey Ellis in the 32. They're running out here. Still, they pitted about 4 or 5 laps ago. So we'll have to see where they all kind of merged. They're pretty organized, so I'd say that they've been gaining quite a bit of time. But the first car off pit road, and the other pack is the 2 of Nick Nickerson, followed by the 8 of Kevin Foster. But they're not quite as organized right now. We'll have to see if this bigger pack can catch up to them. They're trying to gather some organization, even if there is only 2 cars.
So you can see Garrett Hall coming off pit road right now, as is Robert Mathis.
Yep, looks like the 8 of Kevin Foster will jump out to your lead here as they go down the backstretch, as they kind of all collect together.
Nick Nickerson pushing Foster up in front of Robert Mathis.
Looks like they only have 1 car to beat here to get to the front. 13 of Garrett Hall. So try to blend in behind them. Try and tag along. Looks like they just had a lot of speed there. He wasn't able to gather onto the back of them very quickly, but I think he did get a sniff of the draft. He's ultimately going to be helped out by the 29 of Robert Mathis and the 64 of Ricciard Jr.
Ricciard Jr. still down 1 lap, though, as is Brandon Jackson and Alan Castle. So after lap 61 of 75 here at Talladega, Kevin Foster, your leader, being pushed by Nick Nickerson, Garrett Hall, and Robert Mathis sitting in 3rd and 4th. You got Ricciard Jr. up there in the front pack, but a lap down. Nickerson now going to the outside, looking to take the lead away. I was going to go through the standings, but we may want to watch this here for a second. As Nickerson now stuck on the outside, Foster going to retain the lead. The 13 of Garrett Hall pushing the 8 of Kevin Foster, and Ricky Hart Jr. going to join in on the inside of Nickerson. Robert Mathis is going to try to as well.
As we watch this, a couple of the cars that I suspected had pitted a little bit earlier are making another pit stop. 32 Terry Condis, Wesley Fuller, as well as Brandon Trogdon. They did join up as a group there a few laps ago, but they realized that they were not going to be able to make it all the way on fuel and had to pit another time. So, battle at the front is going to be between these 5 or so cars up here at the front.
You can see a big run for the 13 of Garrett Hall as he gets pushed by Ricky Hart Jr. Going to be in front of Foster and Nickerson now.
As we watch, actually the 64 Ricky Hart Jr. is still a lap down, so he is racing purely to get back on the lead lap here late. If he can catch a caution here. So they're technically about 4 cars in this lead pack that have a shot.
We've got Garrett Hall, Kevin Foster, Nick Nickerson, and Robert Mathis. You see back behind this pack, we got the 69 car of Brandon Trogdon. He's going to be 1 lap down as well.
We'll have to pay attention here. We have some lap cars up ahead of this group. We'll have to see how they kind of close in and take evasive action, potentially. Maybe there'll be some picks being used.
Never mind, I'm targeted.
You believe that should be the 35 of Wesley Fuller and the 32 of Terry Condis up in front of this pack.
Yeah, it looks like the momentum of Kevin Foster and Nick Nickerson has translated into Kevin Foster moving down in front of the pack. He's trying to help out his buddy there, Nick Nickerson, but also trying to maintain the P1 position. 13 of Garrett Hall gives him a shove. Nick Nickerson hung out to dry there on the top lane, trying to get whatever space he can, trying to get a side draft, trying to move up alongside of these cars. He's currently right next to the 64 Ricky Hart Jr. They're coming up on the back of the 35 and the 32. Looks like they're going to put themselves 3 wide here as they try and get by these potential lap cars. 13 of Garrett Hall makes his move along with Ricky Hart Jr. down on the bottom. Nick Nickerson alongside. Kevin Foster out on the outside. Kevin Foster using the two end of lead lap cars. Trying to get a sniff of the draft. Ultimately he's going to have to fall in behind these other leaders.
Reckon. That's 2 cars.
Stop.
So we have a caution on the...
Whoever wrecked, your mom on the hose.
Caution on the speedway. Not exactly sure what for, but
the pace car.
we had a car spin. I believe it was on the back stretch last time by.
Caution with 9 laps to go. That is definitely going to
Definitely
shake things up here.
Race. Let's see when they get back going green, but it'll definitely be a shootout.
Let's see if we can go to an instant replay real quick and see what happened following the 4 of Trey Ellis and the 10 of Matt Crockett.
It's hard to tell exactly who it was in the timing and scoring because they were so spread out, but we'll have to see here coming out of 2. Yeah, it looks like they're trying to get organized and for a bump draft, and they just got together, just got out of position there, and someone moved right when another moved left, and they came together. just kind of a product of this type of racing.
See Matt Crockett now in the pits. Trey Ellis sitting in 6th position right now. But Garrett Hall, your leader, followed by Nick Nickerson, Robert Mathis, Kevin Foster, Trey Ellis. Couple cars a lap down, as you can see. Ricky Hart Jr., Wesley Fuller, Terry Condis, Brandon Trogdon, Brandon Jackson, and Alan Castle.
'64 of Ricky Hart Jr. gets the lucky dog as the first car 1 lap down. Be happy to see him get back on the lead lap, as currently there will be 7 cars on the lead lap here at the end, as far as our standings are showing.
So Ricky Hart Jr. getting back on the lead lap. That'll mean the top 7 cars here are on the lead lap. 8th through 13th will be a lap down.
Yeah, I believe with these cars not pitting here late, that won't allow most of these lap down cars to get a wave around. So they will most likely
Who's
end
the
up
lucky
1 lap
dog?
down.
I was.
Eight laps to go here. Looking on the nose view of Garrett Hall, you can see started in 12th position. And now all the way up, leading the race right now.
Yeah, so essentially he started all the way at the back of this field. He stayed clean throughout most of this race. I've actually noticed him just running up front at most of the point. That is one way to keep your car undamaged and clean, is just to be out in front of everybody else. And that's kind of ultimately put him in this position out here out front at the end of this race.
Yeah, great run from him. Someone who just notched 2nd place in the point standings, and he's looking to move up even further. And of course, Nick Nickerson, who's sitting directly behind him or to his outside right now in 2nd position. He is sitting right behind him in points. Of course, Nickerson has held that 2nd position in points for a long time, and he's looking to keep it. So not only is this front 2 a battle here at Talladega, but it's a battle for the point standings this season.
Yep, this is a battle for the 2 spot here in the points. We got Brandon Jackson. If he ultimately has a good day, he could potentially leapfrog both of them if they were to have a problem. But currently, Garrett Hall is in the position to be able to close out the 2nd place points position. But if we can see a lot of things here late that may shake things up. Keep in mind we have the '64 Ricky Hart Jr. here on the lead lap. He is your points leader as of now. He did miss the race last week, but he had such a lead, as well as Nick Nickerson, that they were able to maintain a reasonably good standing. I know Nick Nickerson dropped 1 spot, but Ricky Hart Jr. was able to maintain his lead in the points.
Now that the '64 Ricky Hart Jr. is back on the lead lap, we'll have to see how that plays out. It'll definitely be interesting. He may be able to work his way up, even though he was 1 lap down at some point here at Talladega. That really doesn't mean much.
Yeah, certainly. Such a great equalizer here with this track, with these cars. That so very similar. It allows cars that are not necessarily as aggressive in the beginning to be able to become aggressive here late, and ultimately be running up here at the front at the end of this race. As long as they don't make mistakes, it seems like you're able to maintain that lead lap and have a shot here at the end.
Pace car getting ready to dive off. It'll be Garrett Hall and Nick Nickerson in that front row, looking to take us to green here. They're going to be off with a big jump from the 13 car.
Green, green, green.
29 of Robert Mathis following directly behind him. Trey Ellis looking to the inside of Nickerson here now as well. So they're going to single out fairly quickly. Nickerson all the way back to 4th right now behind Ellis.
Another car to keep an eye on is 11 of Bill Harkins. He's been on the lead lap this whole race. Very good run for him here tonight. In his last race of the season. We got a few cars get together as 13 of Garrett Hall throws a block on the 29 of Robert Mathis. It's allowed the 2 of Nick Nickerson to get up to the 2nd spot, the 8 of Kevin Foster to 3rd, and the 11 of Bill Harkins up to 4th. Got Garrett Hall here, continuing to run in front of the bottom line. 8 of Kevin Foster and the 29 of Robert Mathis can't gather enough steam to be able to overcome this line currently. But it looks like Nick Nickerson ducked out to the outside. He's making his move here, late in the going.
Trey Ellis now on the outside as well. It's like Kevin Foster making it 3 wide now, but he's going to be stuck out there on the outside unless somebody else jumps up. That's not going to be good for him.
Yeah, I think he's looking for a kind of a dancing partner here late so that him and somebody else can potentially make their run here to the front. He's dropping back to the back of this little pack. He has plenty of time here because we have, I believe we're coming to 4 to go.
You're coming to 4 to go, and look at Bill Harkins right now, up in 2nd position, being pushed by Nick Nickerson, looking to take the lead away from Garrett Hall. Bill Harkins in that 11 car on the outside line. Got the lead now going on the backstretch, but we'll see if he can hold it. Trey Ellis and Garrett Hall down on the inside line. Bill Harkins and Nick Nickerson on the outside.
Looks like they got a little bit out of shape there on the backstretch. 29 of Robert Mathis got up on the back bumper of Nick Nickerson, got a little bit out of shape, had to gather it up, let off, so they wouldn't cause a crash there on the backstretch. Allowed 11 of Bill Harkins and 2 of Nick Nickerson to maintain their lead as they swing down in front of the 3rd place position. Garrett Hall. Garrett Hall goes high, trying to make his run on the outside. To no avail.
3 laps to go here now. Bill Harkins, your leader. Nick Nickerson right behind him. See,
Garrett Hall makes such a lunge coming out of 2. He's got Trey Ellis here trying to get to his back bumper. Trey Ellis throws a block on Kevin Foster. Garrett Hall's hung out to dry currently, but he's going to be picked up here by Rick. Oh, we got a blown motor, I believe, on 2 of Nick Nickerson. Got the duck out of the pack. This is going to be quite interesting here.
Oh, it's going to be
coming to 2 to go.
It's very unfortunate for Nickerson. Easy to get a little bit too hot here.
Yeah,
Trey
that might
Ellis.
have been what it was. He was just following him for so long that it overheated the motor and caused it to lock up. So we got 2 laps to go here. It's going to be a mad dash. 1.5 to go here as they go down the backstretch.
Got Bill Harkins and Kevin Foster down on the inside. Trey Ellis being pushed by the 13 of Garrett Hall on the outside. 93 of Alan Castle down there in the mix too, even though he's 1 lap down, and we got a problem.
Wrecking.
Big, huge wreck here. 2 laps to go. Bill Harkins, your leader.
If you want to stay out, we'll stay out.
Wow. They have another caution here late.
You know, big wreck from the 4 of Trey Ellis. And someone else, I'm not sure who, heading to the instant replay, looking at the replay right now. See the 13 of Garrett Hall pushing the 4 of Trey Ellis, and he just a racing thing, pushing him, got a little bit messed up, a little bit sideways right there. Obviously didn't mean to do that, but the caution flag is out with 3 laps to go. Bill Harkin's going to be your leader. Robert Mathis sitting in second place right now, followed by Garrett Hall, Ricky Hart Jr., and Nick Nickerson. Kevin Foster and Trey Ellis, the ones involved there. And then 1 lap down, we've got Alan Castle, Terry Condis, Brandon Trogdon, Brandon Jackson, Wesley Fuller, and Matt Crockett. Matt Crockett 8 laps down.
We'll to see how this all shakes out. 11 car of Bill Harkins took the lead there late in this race. The caution was thrown 3 and 4. We'll to see how that whole sequence went, but ultimately here, I'm not really sure if we're gonna have a green-white checkered or not, to be honest.
Yeah, 3 laps to go here. We'll have to see how this shakes out.
Yeah, judging by my scoring, the race had looked kind of like it had gone official, but I was pretty positive that it did not, but we'll have to see here. Pretty sure they should get a green-white checkered in here late. I think it's just that there's a little bug in iRacing, potentially. We're running into just because we have a green-white checkered, but I think we'll have a green-white checkered here with Bill Harkins here leading up to the green flag on the potentially the last shootout of the race.
And something interesting, you can see the 64 car of Ricky Hart Jr. all the way up to 3rd place right now, even though he was a lap down. Still a great driver and a great car right there. Able to work his way all the way back up to now 3rd.
Hold the secret.
You sneaky thing, you.
So we're under the yellow flag. It's been kind of a rare sight this season, but we haven't seen the 11 car Bill Harkins out here very often, at least out front. But he has done everything he's needed to here late to put himself there here right before this last green-white checkered. So we'll have to see if we can he can hold everybody off.
Yeah, definitely. No matter what, this is going to be a great last race for that number 11 car. Started up in 3rd, currently 1st.
I think while we have time, we'll have to keep everybody updated here on the running order. We got the 11 of Bill Harkins out front. We got the 29 of Robert Mathis in 2nd. 64 of Ricky Hart Jr. in 3rd. 13 of Garrett Hall in 4th. The 2 of Nick Nickerson, I believe he made it back out onto the track. I had thought he had expired that motor, but potentially they were able to fix something there on the car as he dove on the pit road, and he was able to catch a caution there.
Very, very lucky for the number 2 car.
Yeah, certainly. Very, very surprised by that. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see if he does finish on the podium. We'll have to get a word with him on how they managed to get that car back out there. But as we go through the running order, 6th is the 93 of Alan Castle. He's also run a very good race. He hasn't had much luck here in this series, but just being able to stay on the lead lap here while many of the other cars have not been able to is quite an accomplishment. Ultimately, his consistency hasn't necessarily always been there this season, but I think this run will potentially make up for all of that.
As you can see, the lights are out now on the pace car, so we will be going green this time by.
Up on our front row, we're going to have the 11 of Bill Harkins, 29 of Robert Mathis, in third, 64 of Ricky Hart Jr., fourth, 13 of Garrett Hall, 2 of Nick Nickerson in fifth, and the 93 of Alan Castle there on the outside row, third in line. Let's see how these cars link up together here and see who gets a run.
As you can see, the pace car diving down onto pit road. Now got to get all the way around before you get to the start-finish line here at Talladega, though.
Yep. Bill Harkins gets a jump.
Green flag.
And Ricky Hart Jr. out on the inside of Robert Mathis. Everyone fairly spread out right now, though.
Yep, hopefully it's not too much of a jump for Bill Harkins. Get too far ahead to allow Ricky Hart Jr. to make a move on him. Doesn't look like he has yet, but it looks like the outside is forming.
29 of Robert Mathis and the 13 of Garrett Hall working on the outside. Nick Nickerson was up there, but he decided to jump down low. Bill Harkins still out front, being pushed by Ricky Hart Jr. in 64 car.
Yeah, it looks like that bottom line is pretty stout. We got the 11 of Bill Harkins, 64 Ricky Hart Jr., 2 of Nick Nickerson, all on a line there on the bottom. Some of our top running competitors forming up.
29 of Robert Mathis with a big move up the track there. Might have got a little bit squirrely, but it'll cost him, and he's back a couple positions now.
Also a couple of lap cars up in the fray. 99 of Brandon Jackson, 8 of Kevin Foster, looking to push some of these leaders to the lead here late.
White flag out now in the 11 car out front as they're on the backstretch, being pushed by the 64 of Ricky Hart Jr. Right behind him, the 99 of Brandon Jackson, who is the first car one lap down.
Ricky Hart Jr. makes his move. He goes to the outside of turn. We got a big wreck for the lead.
Huge wreck here on the final lap, and that should be it. I am not sure who is going to win this.
We'll have to go to the... Looks like
Good win, Allen. Brandon, we still got to go again, man.
Alan Castle, I believe. We're kind of stunned here, honestly. We had such a big... I threw the yellow.
Good job,
ultimately, but it was the last lap, and everybody had to run to the end there, and there was just not many cars left, and Alan Castle made it all the way through.
Let's see if we can head to an instant replay right now.
Boy, we're gonna have a race.
I'm utterly stunned by this.
So you're watching the 93 of Alan Castle in an instant replay. So we're gonna follow along with that 93 car, and we will see how he makes his way to the front during this. Right now he's running toward the back of this little pack.
Yeah, so as we're running here, we got Alan Castle here sitting behind the pack, and he just, as he makes his way through, he finds out that there's nobody left, at least on the lead lap. He splits them all and makes it all the way through.
Very great job from him. Just kind of a little bit of luck, but sometimes luck's what you need, especially here at Talladega.
I'm not sure if he lost the hood during that wreck or before that wreck.
He had it before, so he had some contact during the wreck. So I believe that's where that's where that hood came off. But there you can see him doing some burnouts,
burning it down. 93 of Alan Castle wins this race. This Mission for Nutrition 75 at Talladega. The final race before the holiday breaks.
Pull up our results, and of course Alan Castle. We got Robert Mathis, Ricky Hart Jr. squeaking out a third place finish. We got Garrett Hall and Bill Harkins all the way back to fifth. Still a great finish for him though. The lone Chevrolet with a bunch of Fords and Toyotas. A bunch of Fords really. Sixth place, we have Brandon Jackson, Brandon Trogdon, Nick Nickerson, Wesley Fuller, Kevin Foster rounding out your top 10 in 11th place. 32 of Terry Condis, 4 of Trey Ellis, and the 10 of Matt Crockett, finishing in 13th. Now, in just 1 second, we will see who we can get here in the broadcast booth. But real quick, again, I just want to go ahead and apologize once more for our computer problems earlier. No clue what happened with that, but we'll definitely get it figured out, and I'll make sure that it won't happen before the next race.
We get Alan Castlehan in for his interview. I don't think we've even had him on these final top 3 interviews before.
Yeah, I don't believe we have. But the first driver that we'll interview here tonight, feels like it's been a while since he's been in the booth. The number 64 car of Ricky Hart Jr. finishing in 3rd place tonight. Can you hear me? You got a copy?
I got you. You got me?
Well, that was a crazy finish there. Not exactly sure what happened even, but you finished in 3rd place, even if it is with a damaged car. How's it feel to squeak it out after such a crazy last lap?
I was hoping to get to the line. That was crazy. I had no incidents there for the whole race. I knew something big was coming. Almost went a lap down there early. Oh, we did go a lap down. Got the lucky dog. I thought I was done for. I didn't think we were going to get a caution. But it feels great to get back up to the front, finish 3rd, when I thought for certain that we were going to finish 12th or worse and give up some of that points lead. So it feels good.
Yeah, you were running there a lap down for a while. It seemed like what to you probably felt like most of the race there until late. You kind of lucked out there with about 10 to go and caught a caution. But ultimately, what was going through your head there at the end when you did finally get on the lead lap?
Yeah, when I was finally got on the lead lap and the laps were winding down, I kind of wanted to hang back a little bit. I knew a big one was coming. We hadn't had one all race. I had a feeling that was going to happen. That did happen. Then we got the green-white checkered. I thought after the big one we were going to get a race there to the end, and really wanted to bring it home in first, but just got collected there at the end. I mean, that's Talladega, and glad, like I said, 3rd place is better than 4th. I guess we're being stuck a lap down, so feels great.
Yep, you at least made it to talk to us. Got anybody to thank tonight?
Just everybody, Interior Tattoo, you guys, Evan. Yeah, it's been a while. I don't know what to say. Thanks, guys.
I believe it's been 2 weeks, possibly 3 weeks, not really sure. But that is the 64 of Ricky Hart Jr. in 3rd place.
Yeah, enjoy the holidays, guys. See you in 2 weeks.
Yep, thanks.
All right, and then finishing in 2nd position was the number 29 car of Robert Mathis. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
That was a crazy little last lap crash there. What was kind of going through your mind through the end that got you finishing in 2nd place?
Well, the caution before I got hit, and I wasn't sure if it was going to slow me down or not. And Garrett was pushing me, and then when we got in the corner, next to the last lap, he just didn't realize it was just going to slow me down too much. So at that point, it's just kind of ride back behind the back and just hope a big wreck happens, and just so happened that happened.
Yeah, you were running there up at the front pretty much all night. It seemed like you were definitely in contention for the win. What was kind of going through your head there the last restart of the race?
Well, just going back to, I just wasn't sure of the damage. Garrett came up there and looked at the car. I had already used my fast repair early in the race because my monitor cut off, and so I put it in the wall so I didn't hit anybody. So I already used my fast repair, so wasn't something I can come in and repair. So it was really just hope I didn't have enough damage where I could, keep up. But obviously I didn't. But the wreck helped me.
Well, certainly. Anybody you want to thank here tonight?
I just appreciate all the hard work with the admins, and appreciate the broadcast. So enjoy watching every week. And the 2nd, 4th race in the motorsports. Good night for us.
Yeah, certainly. That's our 2nd place runner, the 29 of Robert Mathis, finishing in the 2nd spot.
Thank you, guys.
All right, and then tonight's winner, saw him a lap down at some point, but able to capitalize and squeak by there in the end, the number 93 car of Alan Castle. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Crazy little end of the race. I'm just going to ask you the same thing that I asked our other two guys. What was kind of going through your head there at the very last lap? Such a big wreck right there and able to squeak by.
There was somebody looking down on me during that. I was just, I got that lucky dog and was just riding in the back. I was going to be happy with the top 5 tonight. And I don't know how I made it through that. All I seen was cars, and I just held her to the floor.
Yeah, we had mentioned you in the broadcast that you were on the lead lap there when many cars were not there, and ultimately that was all that it really took for you to be able to be in contention. Even if you weren't necessarily on the front row on the last restart, that's ultimately what you needed there. What was it like kind of going through that whole sequence there with that last wreck, and what was kind of going through your head ultimately when you kind of cleared the melee?
Once I cleared the melee, I didn't even know I thought there was still two guys in front of me. I didn't even know I'd won the race until I crossed the line and it showed up I was the first. But man, that was something else.
Yeah, ultimately we weren't even really sure either until we looked and someone said that Alan Castle was the Lone Ranger out front here at the end of the melee, and ultimately you went on to win this race. Anybody you want to thank here tonight?
I just want to thank my wife and my little girl for letting me do this on Wednesday nights, and definitely thank Bill for putting on this league. It's a great league, and love it.
All right, that's our winner here tonight in the Mission for Nutrition Survive 75 at Talladega. That's the 93 of Alan Castle, your winner here tonight.
All right, so as always, thank you to everyone for watching here tonight, and just again want to big apologies for the technical difficulties that we had. I'll make sure it gets sorted out before next week. I believe I had a little bit of a problem streaming to Facebook and YouTube at the same time, so may only have to stream to one of those from now on. But thank you for sticking in and watching the rest of the race here with me and Brett. And the Bandit Racing League will not be back next week, of course. Week off for the holidays. But next week, or week after next, we have Texas Motor Speedway, 125 laps there on December 2nd. So I hope that you'll join us then, and thank you for watching. Y'all have a great night.